For this type of cane, you need your extruder and then a pentagonal and a triangular die. First, get some white clay through the pentagonal one and then make a long string of triangular white. And then here I used a new navy Premo, and that's another long triangular snake. And here's going to be a little bit very important to cut everything at 1 inch length, because you guessed it, we are going to place the triangular whites on the sides of the pentagon. For the next thing, the way that I find it to make things easier is to just put one blue and one white of the triangular ones together, and then it's much easier when I have to add the rest. When you do the two, make sure that you check on both ends that they are well done. Now look at this. If we put the whites, you can see that between the spokes of the star, you actually need to put 2 pieces of the blue in order to get a proper cane. So this is exactly what you will be doing. And once you already have your one white and one blue, it's going to be much easier to add the second blue. Once you have put together your star properly, press a little bit to make sure that you did not trap any air anywhere, and then we are going to make it into a square because it's much easier to reduce. For that, I'll first make it a round. So I'm going to first wrap it in a sheet of navy on the thickest setting, and then I will need a little bit more of that triangular strip of blue, and I'm going to put one piece of that triangular strip in to form 4 corners, and that way I will shape a perfect square cane. Watch this. Already our star looks pretty nice. The only issue I had here was with the navy, because if you remember, I wrote in the video description when I did the unpacking from PolyClay Play that the navy clay was very soft, very smushy and squishy. But as you can see, the star looks awesome. And yes, you do have a die that's a star, but it's much harder to put the blue in between the spokes, you know. So placing the 4 triangles to create the square. And why I am doing this is because I am planning on making a few patriotic pieces with Memorial Day coming, and then after that the 4th of July. I thought it's a good thing to show you how to make the whole area with stars of the star-spangled banner. So all to make it smaller and to make all the spangled part, the star-spangled banner part, of course you don't have to do the full 50 stars. It's enough to put a few together to get the whole idea. But what I'm going to do is to reduce, and I'm going to reduce, and I'm going to reduce. Because of the navy being so soft, I lost a little bit of the ends. And if you're noticing, I'm using the new square pairs from Tiny Pandora, and they are not hollow inside, they are solid, and it makes a world of difference. So I am going to reduce these until I am going to get you are going to say that I am crazy. I am going to get all that cane into 4 thin long canes. And this is what I call micro caning. And honestly, without the square pairs, it's very hard to do this. As you can see, I got one very long and very thin, but that will not be it. I am going to get rid of the deformed ends and cut it in 2 and keep reducing. Yes, as you can see, I keep reducing and I keep reducing. I will end up with 4 small star canes that will be 1/4 of an inch. Yes, you heard me right, 1/4 of an inch. And you can see I already did one. I'm going to extend it a little bit more. I'm trying to make sure that all the cane is the same size all over. And then I am going to cut it to a 6-inch length and do the second one the same. And I will end up with 4-inch long canes. And with 16 bits, but the idea is that I'll only use 14. But you'll see, with the remaining 2, I'll still make something, and I'll show that you can still make something and not have them at a loss. And the next tutorial after this one, we will make a pair of very, very elegant patriotic earrings. So, as you can see, I got my 2 6-inch long canes, star canes, and now I'm cutting them in half, and I am going to reduce each of those 3-inch halves to 4-inch length. And I'm again checking to make sure that they are the same size all over the cane. I would honestly advise you to use Fimo Professional for this. It will look way more professional, obviously, Fimo Professional, but the lines will be way better than trying to work with Premo, and especially trying to work with the squishy navy Premo. Anyway, I wanted to show you the full process of reducing, to show you that it is very, very possible to do this. But again, I did not have enough navy of the Fimo, and the blue that I had was not really a good choice to use in the star-spangled thing. Banner jewelry, but that's why I used the Premo, and it was also a good occasion to test the navy, even as squishy as it is. So as you can see, I did get my 4-inch long canes, and I am cutting them all to 1 inch, 4 1-inch segments, ending up with 16 1-inch segments. And if you have a grid mat like this one, it's way more helpful, but if you don't, just use a ruler and it's going to be just fine. Then what I'm going to do, I am going to put them side by side. I'm going to make 2 groups of 4 and 2 groups of 3, so that I can obtain that little offset that you can see on the flag. And once you do that, of course, once you create your, at least a piece of the whole star field, you can reduce that even more and make it even smaller. But at that point, they will look pretty much like dots, only going very, very close, you know, just for fun and giggles. You would want to do that. Just making 1 square inch with 14 stars in it should be enough to give you the whole idea that it is the flag of the United States of America. So you see, I already made 2 groups of 4, and I am making 2 groups of 3. Now, with the groups of 3, I put some of the navy clay through the pasta machine on the thickest setting, and then I cut some pieces to be the exact size of my star cane, and then I cut those in two, and I'm going to put 1/2 on one end of the 3 canes group and 1/2 at the other end of the 3 cane group, so that when I put them together I will have a 4-star group, then an offset of 3-star line that is right in the middle of the 4 stars, and then again a 4-star and another group of 3 offset right in the middle of the 4 stars. So look how this works. See, this way I have the 3-star line exactly perfectly offset in the middle of the 4-star one. And once I do this, I have a perfect square 1 inch that I can go ahead and start reducing. With the 2 remaining ones, I just put them 2 together and then cut them and made a little star square that can be used in stuff. So all you have to do now is to simply consolidate and reduce your star filled a little cane. And again, I'm going to use the square pairs. I'll put a link in the video description for the Tiny Pandora's new square pairs. But there you go.